FortNite is the biggest game out there at the moment, and so is PUBG, and H1Z1 exists, I guess. Here I'll be going over all of them and telling you which one I prefer. Let's go. First up is PUBG. Out of these three, PUB is arguably the most realistic. To me, realism is, in this genre at least, the power of guns and their recoil, as well as graphical style, and the TTK. All of these are very close to life. PUBG's guns are very easy to use, yet they are hard to master, and it's pretty hard to remember which guns are better than the other since there is no real distinctive factor between a gun. Late game, you may find yourself asking if the AKM you got in the early game is worse than the M4A1 that your opponent dropped when you killed them, which can really confuse you while looting, and I can't even tell you how many times I've asked, is the M16 better than the M4, or is the M16 better than the M14? And this is really the same for the attachments that you get on your gun. Is a hollow better than a red dot? Is a V-grip better than an A-grip? Yada yada yada. Armor, however, is very easy to distinguish as they have a tagged level on them which affects the amount of health an item has before it breaks. This may also affect the amount of protection an item can give you. For example, a level 3 helmet will protect your face while a level 1 or 2 helmet won't protect your face in the slightest. PUBG is very confusing, but once you get the hang of it, the depth of the game really just adds another layer to it. Overall, I'd give PUBG a 7 out of 10. And another thing that puts it down is that it is the only battle royale game you have to pay for and will set you back $30. Now that is assuming you spend nothing on community marketing crates and just buy the base game as the base game as the base game as the base game. And you never spend anything else. Next up is FortNite. FortNite is a lot simpler than both PUBG and H1, allowing just about anyone who knows how to use a keyboard and mouse to be able to play. This has led to most of its popularity as it is an okay entry point into battle royales. FortNite is also the least realistic of the bunch with a longer TTK from what I've experienced, a cartoony art style, and weird items that may never exist in our world. FortNite is even simpler while looting. Guns and armor have very distinct and different look depending on the strength, recoil, and firing speed of the gun. These are differentiated by the glow's color around the item, which is 1. Gray, which means it is the base item with no buff, 2. Green, which means there's a very slight buff, 3. Blue, which means the buff is more noticeable. I'd consider this where you can start differentiating the base item from the blue. Purple, which again is a little bit better, and orange, which is a lot better and a lot rarer. You'll very rarely find an orange item. The building mechanic in FortNite is clearly the most fleshed out and unique thing in FortNite. It is the only thing that allows it to be unique among its competitors, other than its art style, and its distinguishing factor from H1 and PUBG. Other than that, it's a standard battle royale game. Overall, I'd give it the same as PUBG, a 7 out of 10. Last is H1Z1, which just now went free to play as it came out of early access with this new auto royale mode. If you've never seen H1 gameplay, then I do recommend it, but make sure it isn't over 6 months old, because if it is over 6 months old, it is not H1Z1. The HUD has become much cleaner since I've played last, and easier to use. And I personally prefer the new H1 HUD to both PUBG's and FortNite's. H1 is a sort of medium in realism between PUB and FortNite. It keeps the art style, gunplay, and recoil of PUBG, but has the longer TTK of FortNite. H1 is a great entry point for the battle royale genre, and personally it's what I started out as, even though I started out when you had to pay for H1. I would recommend it to start and get it if you like it. I would buy PUBG, but if you don't like H1, get FortNite before discounting the genre as a whole. And if you love H1, stick with that. I'd give H1 a 6 out of 10 just because it's a less fleshed out version of PUBG, and while I still do like H1, I would much rather play PUBG if I was given the choice because of its realism and predictability, and also a lot of other factors, since it is just much easier to set up. I prefer a lot of things to PUBG, such as getting to choose a precise location to where you start up, other than having the ability to just choose a square. And yeah, if you like this video, why not go down and leave a like, and while you're down there, I might as well subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.